My jealous sister-in-law tried to poison me after I announced my pregnancy, but she ended up poisoning her own husband instead. Now, she is begging us to drop all charges and for her husband to take her back. My husband and I were shocked to see her. Sil came and hugged Harry, telling him how much she had missed him and how sorry she was for their last conversation. My husband took my hand and told his sister that she should be apologizing to me since she had pointed fingers at my character. Sil nodded, turned to me and apologized. She told me how she had been going to therapy for the past few months and had realized how wrong it was for her to humiliate me like that. I did not believe a word she was saying, but I didn't want to be rude to her in front of everyone, so I just nodded. Mill and Phil did check up on us and told us that they had no idea she would be coming and assured us that if we were not comfortable they would kick her out since this was a party for my husband, but Harry didn't want to make a scene, so we agreed to let this go. Throughout the party, I could see Sil laughing and mingling with everyone, which was a bit odd. She seemed too positive, which was completely not her character. But she had mentioned going to therapy, so I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. When it came time to cut the cake, Harry gave a heartwarming speech about how he considered himself the luckiest guy in the world, grateful for yet another year with a wife like me. His words made me blush with joy. I couldn't help but appreciate the fact that my husband and I were still deeply in love, just as we were when we first started dating all those years ago. Then, Harry and I decided to share some exciting news with everyone. With smiles on our faces, we announced that we were expecting a baby, and everyone took a moment to process before exclaiming in happiness. My mother started to cry and came over to hug me. Mill and Phil had tears running down their faces as they congratulated both me and Harry. Everyone was so happy for us and were excitedly asking us if we had come up with baby names. The only sore thumb that stuck out was Sil. She looked at us stunned. I thought maybe she was taking some time to process, but then her expressions changed and she just walked away from us looking pissed. I was a bit worried, thinking if she was going to ruin yet another celebration for us, but got distracted with other people coming over to talk to me. When it was time to serve lunch, I got up to help my in-laws bring the food out, but Rick and my parents urged me to remain seated, telling me that I should not even lift a finger during this time. I was sitting in my seat patiently waiting for my husband to bring me a plate when Sil came up to me beaming. She had a plate of food in her hands and handed it to me, loudly announcing that she personally wanted to serve me food since she was so happy about my pregnancy. As she handed me the plate, she even made a comment about how she wanted to make it up to me for all the time she had been rude to me in the past. I nodded and graciously accepted. She then walked away. As I was about to dig in, I thankfully noticed that she had brought shrimp on my plate. It is quite a well-known fact to my family that I am highly allergic to shrimp, so I was shocked that Sil even served me this. I shook my head in disappointment and got up to get my own food. At that moment, Jamie came over to congratulate me on my pregnancy. We talked a bit and he asked me why I was not eating. I pointed out how Sil had served me shrimp probably by mistake, so Jamie told me not to worry and took the plate off my hands. He told me he could have this plate since he liked eating shrimps and I could get a new plate for me. I smiled, nodded, and walked away. It was not even 5 minutes later when Jamie started to puke and retch over this plate. Everyone stopped eating in concern and stared at him as he stumbled to get up from his seat. Harry and Kayla rushed towards him in concern. Jamie pointed at his plate and then at his throat. Our eyes widened in shock as we understood that something was clearly wrong with him because of what he had eaten. Jamie then fainted while everyone gasped in shock and concern. Kayla rushed over to check his plate and her eyes widened in shock. She turned to look at me and asked me if I had given my plate to her husband, and I nodded. In the midst of the chaos, someone called for an ambulance, and he was rushed to the hospital. Kayla was crying uncontrollably through all this and kept glancing at me in anger. We were informed later that Jamie had been poisoned. I almost fainted when I heard this, since I knew, unlike others, that the plate was originally meant for me. Whatever poisoned Jamie could have poisoned me and my baby. Harry, Mill, Phil, and my parents have no idea about this yet. The police were called to take the food that he ate as evidence, since no one had any idea what was in the food that had caused him to faint this way. At this moment, as I am typing this, Jamie is still recovering at the hospital while Kayla stayed with him overnight. My husband and I have been answering calls from relatives inquiring about what happened to Jamie and who could have potentially poisoned him. Mill and Phil are shaken up by what has happened and are staying over at our place since they are afraid to be back at their place. No one has an idea about what happened suddenly when everything was going so well. I'm so scared to tell everyone that the plate originally belonged to me and how Kayla had come and served it to me. If this turns into an investigation, I will have to tell the police the truth. I feel extremely guilty about what has happened, but most importantly I am now extremely worried about what my Sil can do to me, since she clearly has no inhibitions about trying to poison me. I don't want to be around her, nor can I let my children anywhere near her. Ida for giving my plate to Jamie and for potentially poisoning my bill. Update 1. Wow, thank you for the thousands of comments on this post in just a matter of a few hours. I never imagined that I could have gotten this many responses. My hands were shaking when I typed this earlier, and I have not been able to sleep. Despite what everyone keeps saying, I do feel somewhat responsible for my Bill's incident. I should have just thrown the plate, but I don't know why I let him take it from me. I keep crying thinking if something happens to him. My husband knows something is wrong and has been hovering near me. He thinks I am just worried but has no idea what I know about his sister. I agree with the comments that I need to sit down and talk to everyone calmly. I don't know if everyone is going to believe me, but Mill and Phil do have security cameras installed all around the house, and since this birthday party was happening in their backyard, I am sure they can check and verify from their cameras that Kayla was the one who offered me that plate. I will talk to everyone tonight and then update. Update 2. So we talked and I am so grateful to have the best in-laws in this world.